Alright, y'all. I keep on going out of the video accidentally. I was trying to figure out how to turn it around so that y'all wouldn't get bored not being able to see me. But as I was saying, Taliya is a very picky eater. So it's hard to find out what types of foods she likes and she doesn't like because she is nonverbal. She doesn't talk. She will just stop eating it all of a sudden, and then we have to go and try to find new things for her to eat. So she likes grits. And there was a time where she would eat grits with ham or grits with spam or grits with skinless sausage, grits with ground sausage. And then she got to the point where she wouldn't eat the grits anymore. So we discovered that she likes hash. And she would go to town on the hash. And then all of a sudden, she didn't like the hash anymore. So what I have been doing lately is mixing her grits with the hash. And that seems to be a hit. You know, I don't know how long it's going to last. But I'm going to tell y'all, I cook her breakfast in the microwave most of the time because I am in a hurry. Be judgmental all you want to. The girl is picky anyway. So I just use a measuring cup. I put some milk in it. I'm going to sit y'all down and hope that y'all can see what I'm doing. I put milk in it. I have 2 packets of butter grits. I add that. Trina, is Taliya still in the restroom? Where is she? What do you mean? Can you help me out, please, like you normally do? She's in there trying to get on YouTube. And y'all, let me tell y'all. When that video about the can opener started going viral, let me show y'all something. I didn't know that is how you open up a can. However, I've had this can opener for a few years now, and it does open the cans from the side to keep the cans from being sharp and having you cut yourself. It's been longer than a few years, maybe like 4 years. But I never put 2 and 2 together that the can opener, handheld can opener, is supposed to be opened from the side too. Anyway, I mix about 3/4 of the can with the grits. I know some of y'all may think, ew, how disgusting, but let me tell you. When you have to become Chef Boyardee because your kids won't eat, you become Chef Boyardee. I don't know if I would eat half of the stuff we eat. I don't think I've ever even had hash before. But anyway, I'm going to go over to the microwave. I like to put this on a plate inside the microwave because sometimes it overflows and spills onto the microwave tray. And then that's extra work for me and nobody else cleans it. So I cook this for 5 minutes, 45 seconds. I have to cook it well before I do anything else because Taliya also gets very hangry. And if you don't get her food in enough time, she will start fighting everyone. We have a baby gate here in the kitchen that we use to keep her out of the kitchen. She will start yanking on that, trying to shake it down because she's hungry. And it takes forever for grits to cool off. So I just put a trash bag in the trash can because Trim emptied the trash yesterday and didn't put the trash bag in there. Y'all bear with me because I don't have anyone recording for me. I just saw, what was it? Oh no, kind of spider. That thing is quick too. Where'd it go? Hold on, y'all. Kill a dang spider. Those of you who know me know I don't do spiders. I'm glad I didn't scream. Trying to be brave for the camera. Okay, y'all are about to come over here with me. While I get Taliya's medicine together. Put her medicine in this little cup right here. She still does not do well drinking fluids by mouth, so we still have to use her G-tube, and I'm going to show you guys that too. This is called a bolus syringe, and this is called a Mickey extension. You connect the bolus syringe to the extension, and this port right here goes into the port in her stomach, and then you pour liquids into here and it flows down into her stomach. Good morning, Noni. You want to come say hi to me? Huh? Hold on, I gotta get the camera. Alright, y'all, Taylor is now up. Where are you, Taylor? Come here. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Say how y'all doing?
How y'all doing?
What do you want for breakfast today? Okay, go brush your teeth and wash your face, okay? And use the bathroom. Where am I? Okay. So I'm bringing y'all over here while I get Taliya's medicine together. I hope y'all can see. So Taliya has seizures. So she has to get 6 meals of this medicine twice a day. She has hypothyroidism, so she has to take this levothyroxine 1 meal every day, every morning rather, 30 minutes before she eats. She also has severe constipation due to the hypothyroidism and her pituitary gland deficiency, so I have to give her half a cup of Miralax every single day. There was a time where we stopped giving her the Miralax and we ended up in the ER because she was very, very backed up. Okay. Those are her morning meds. I'll show you her medicines that she takes at night, so I don't have to do a video on that. Is she in your bed with no pull-up on? She has to get a growth hormone injection every single night. I feel so bad for her because when you have a pituitary gland deficiency, none of your hormones work properly. Because she has so many allergies, that one's Taylor's. Taylor takes the same allergy medicine, y'all. Hold on. I accidentally turned my flash on, can't turn it off, so. Okay, Taylor Taylor. Okay, Taliya takes levocetirizine every day. This is Zylol over the counter. Because of her pituitary gland deficiency, she does not produce melatonin. Y'all, I need coffee really bad. Someone broke my coffee pot. But anyway, so she has to take melatonin every night. We give her 2 drops of these. Without melatonin, this girl will jump and clap and play all night long. Or she'll fall asleep and sleep really hard for a couple of hours and then wake up and be up jumping and clapping in bed. She takes, quit calling me. So that's her doctor's office wanting to confirm tomorrow's appointment. She takes nasal spray every night for her allergies. Montelukast, which is singular. I hope I'm not showing y'all my address. It's an old address anyway, so it doesn't matter. Singular is an allergy medicine for asthmatics. In order for Medicaid to pay for it, you have to prove that nothing else works. And it's a shame that that's already 3 allergy medicines I have named off. She takes another seizure medicine every night. This is zonisamide. She gets 3 capsules every night. We have muricyprofen, which is like a something like Neosporin for skin infections, because she has eczema. Sometimes she'll get a cut in the skin and it'll get infected with like a cellulitis or a staph infection. Go ask Trent to open it up. I have to put TMC cream on her every night because she has eczema and skin allergies, and her skin will break out like a sandpaper rash. There's also hydrocortisone cream for her skin allergies. I don't know where that is. She has a million inhalers, her and Taylor, because Taylor has asthma also. Trent takes 1 allergy medicine. We have an emergency medicine for if she has a seizure lasting more than, I think it's 5 minutes. Yeah, if it lasts more than 5 minutes, you have to insert this in the rectum and then go directly to the ER. She also has an adrenal deficiency, which means that when she gets sick, go ask Trent to open it, baby.
I did, but Trent didn't.
Trent, open the toothpaste for her. And don't be acting this morning because you don't want to be up. You should have did that stuff yesterday. Just like I got to get up and do stuff. Anywho, I was saying before I was interrupted, she has an adrenal deficiency, which means that when she gets sick, her body does not produce cortisone. Cortisone is the natural steroid that your body produces to help you get better. That when you're stressed or anything like that. So if she gets a fever of 100 or 100.0 or more, what is going on in there? Why she gotta stand up so you can open it? Just get the toothpaste from her and open it. Don't be extra this morning, y'all. Come on now. Y'all, this stuff I have to deal with all the time. Anyway, the emergency hydrocortisone, I believe is what it's called. Let me see. Yeah, hydrocortisone. She has to get 3 tablets of that. Let me see here. 3 tablets by mouth in the morning and 1.5 tablets by mouth in the evening if a fever is 100 degrees, Fahrenheit or higher, or other severe acute illness, like if she gets a cold or the flu or a virus, even if she doesn't have a fever of 100 degrees Fahrenheit, she still has to take that medicine because it can potentially, like for healthy people, a cold might put you down for like a day or two. But something as simple as a cold can actually be fatal for her. So we have to be careful with that. Throughout the school year, we get a bunch of calls. Anytime this girl gets sick, we have to go pick her up. So I'm hoping this year, things will be better. She hasn't had to get that medicine. They actually wanted to put her on a routine regimen for the hydrocortisone. However, we know for a fact that the steroids she was on when she came home from the NICU is what caused her to develop the pancreatitis. And for those of you who don't know much about pancreatitis, it is a disease of the pancreas and the liver that can be very, very fatal. And usually it is more common for alcoholics to develop pancreatitis and cirrhosis of the liver and things like that. So for a premature baby who is not even a year old yet, it was really bad, really rough what we had to go through. Taliya has had multiple surgeries. She has had her abdomen explored, several times. At one point with the pancreatitis, she had a pseudocyst on her liver, and they had to do an abdominal explorator and leave her open with a mesh on the inside because there was no room for that pseudocyst. It was crushing her inside. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't use the restroom. Her heart rate was, up and down. And she's been on oscillators, ventilators, oxygen, oscillators, ventilators, oxygen. Like, she coded 3 times when she was in the hospital. For those of you who don't know what coded means, it means she died 3 times while she was in the hospital. Some of my really close friends and family got a chance to be with us at that time, and those of you who were there know it was a very difficult time for us. So we do not take for granted that Taliya is with us, and I don't give her special treatment, but we do not take for granted that she is with us. We are very thankful for her. We are not embarrassed by her. It is a struggle. It is, a struggle. Things have gotten so much better because this list of medicine is nothing compared to the list of medicine she had in the past. Also, other than coding, when she was well enough to leave the PICU in the hospital, she wasn't well enough to come home, so she went to the Children's Center there in Oklahoma City, the Bethany Children's Center, which is basically like a rehabilitation center, hospital for kids. It's an in-between hospital stay and home. They offer therapies for them. There are doctors and nurse practitioners and nurses in the room with the kids all day to make sure that, they are okay. I will tell y'all, to anyone out there who has a baby that's in the NICU in Oklahoma City, and I don't know if they have other hospitals like this in other states, but if the nurses at the NICU or the PICU recommend for you to have your children go to the hospital, let them. Because at the time Taliya was in the NICU, they told us she couldn't come home because she wasn't bottle feeding yet. And at that time she had an NG tube, which is the feeding tube that they put down your nose into your stomach. They told us she couldn't come home with the NG tube. So they told us about the children's center, but the way the nurses described it to us, it sounded like a nursing home. And we didn't want to send our baby to a nursing home. So then they recommended that we get the G-tube and a fundoplication. A fundoplication is where they tie a portion of the stomach off so that you can't regurgitate or have acid reflux, because they were telling us that she was not bottle feeding because of acid reflux. So we went ahead and we did that surgery because we wanted her to come home. I mean, she had already been in the hospital for 9 months after all, and we wanted to care for her and love her. Well, because Taliya was born early and had lung issues, anytime she would go under and get anesthetics and get they would have to put her on the ventilator, to breathe for her while she was under. Her lungs would become lazy because, they didn't have to do any work. That's the best way I can describe that. So in order to get her back off the ventilator whenever she got out of surgery, they started her on steroids. Well, she was doing very well on those steroids, so they trained us on how to take care of her at home, and we went home with all of the instructions they gave us. And the steroid that they gave us, we were giving her the very high dose for about 5 weeks. And although we were telling the doctors that were seeing her for her follow-up visits all of our concerns, she wasn't growing anymore, there were different things, signs that the steroids were causing issues. She started having really watery stools. It was almost like she was wetting her diapers, but it would be stools. One day, Troy noticed that she was very lethargic and she wouldn't take her bottle, which at this point, when she came home, she was drinking bottles. She was sitting up. She was babbling and cooing and doing things that a typical 9-month-old baby would do, although she was premature. So she was actually, ahead of where she was expected to be since she was so early. We rushed her to the ER. They told us she had gas, told us she had an ear infection. And then we went over they sent us home. Well, the next morning, my baby's belly was the size of a basketball. Okay? She's only 10 months old at this time. The size of a basketball. And she hadn't wet her diapers. She hadn't stooled her diapers. There was a lot of residual, and what residual is the fluids that we were putting on the stomach were coming back out because it wasn't being digested. It was coming back up this tube I showed you guys. Because we used to have to do that to give her medicine and to vent her. So we rushed her over to OU Children's, where we found out she had pancreatitis. Okay. We had to give the hospital her medicine regimen, and they were still giving her the high dose of the steroid. Now, before I continue on, I want to say anybody that knows anything about steroids is you start off on a high dose and then you wean yourself off. You cannot keep taking that high dose for weeks at a time. Okay, so anyway, they're still giving her that same high dose of steroids. They weren't weaning it off. And she kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And they rushed her to the PICU, and she's still getting sicker and sicker. And I'm begging and pleading and telling them to please, start weaning her off the steroid. Every day her amylase and lipase levels are getting higher and higher and higher. I mean, my baby is practically at this point a vegetable. Like, they've already had to put a trach in her neck and, do all of this stuff to her and put her in a medicine-induced coma so that she wouldn't pull out her tubes and all of this stuff. And she was really swollen and puffy. And finally, the doctors were doing their rounds. And I looked the doctor in the eyes and I said, please stop her steroid. Let me tell y'all, that doctor finally made the change to stop her steroid. And each day that they weaned her steroid down, her amylase and lipase levels went down. You cannot tell us that it is not because of the steroid that my baby had pancreatitis. And although her amylase and lipase levels were going down, there was so much damage done at this point that there was no just, okay, her amylase and lipase levels are down, so now y'all can go home. No. It was bad. So that's Taliya's medical history, okay? So like I say, she is a very, very stubborn, and I'm very thankful that she is a very stubborn child. She refuses to let go. She refuses to be held down. So I'm thankful for that. So anyway, I have shown y'all her medicine. I have given you guys a history on her. And I am getting ready to get her medicine together and then give her medicine. And I'll show you guys how I do that. Trin, are you and Taylor going to eat breakfast? Did you brush your teeth and wash your face? Get off of that water, please, ma'am. Thank you. I know you little, but you still big enough to smash up the water bottles, don't you think? Get that out your mouth. So I give her about 8 ounces of water. Let's say half a cup of her Miralax. All pills must be crushed. And y'all, she will drink some water by mouth, but she has gotten to the point where she likes to spit it back out on you, or even a little bitty drop. It's like it chokes her up a little bit. So just crushed it. Will you hand me a medicine syringe, please? Thank you. Got anything to say to YouTube? You hiding from the camera this morning? Kids. Yeah, she was diagnosed with autism, but I think she might also have a little OCD. No, ma'am. No, Taliya, leave that alone. Normally, I would give her shower before all of this because she did wet her bed. But Taliya, she just ran off. But she is going to eat her grits, and she usually makes a big mess. So come on here. Taliya, come get your medicine. If I sit this here, you should be able to. Give her medicine. Maybe not. Trin, you might have to come in. Sorry, y'all. I dropped the camera again. Come sit down. You might have to come and hold this trend while I connect the medicine port so they can see. Hold it. Taliya, I have to take that. Hold it. Right. Come here. Right there.
Where is the spoon?
So you see, this is the G tube or Mickey button. This lines up with this. You insert it and you turn it to lock it so that it doesn't come back out. If she has any gas and needs to burp or anything like that, it's gonna come up. I got it. Thank you. It's gonna come up through there like that.
Hey, you want to come out? Nah, I'm just
Okay.
gonna go right back under the
Now I'm gonna pour her medicine into there, and we will talk to you guys later.